one of the things that helps teachers to have a successful academic year is reflecting on the previous academic year. So if you want to have a successful academic year, it then means you have to reflect on the practices that went so well and the ones that didn't really go so well and you intend to improve upon, and create a plan to help you get those areas you really want to improve on set and ready to go. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 areas I'm going to be reflecting on and what I intend to do moving forward in order to have a successful academic year next year. So keep watching. It is the end of the 2023-2024 academic session, and today I figured out I'm going to just reflect on some of the things that the practices that went so well and some of the things I need to improve on. In any time of this video, I'll be putting up some of the things that we used last year here and there, so you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. We just closed school and we are preparing for the next academic year. Last year, I was moved to year 3, and in year 3, luckily I had some children who were in my former class in year 2 with me in year 3, and it was really like a continuum, you know. I was with them from year 2, we moved on to year 3, and getting to know ourselves wasn't difficult for me. The first area I'm actually going to be reflecting on is teaching, both the content, scope, and sequence. And some of the things I did so well and I'm so proud of myself is being able to teach the children to understanding. Sometimes when I introduce a particular skill, for example, addition using, a particular strategy like number line, and the children are not really getting it, I was able to reteach the skill and then get the children to have an understanding of what that particular skill is. One thing I like doing in school, not really only me, but because of the way the curriculum is structured, is that the children have enough time and enough opportunities to practice a particular skill and get better at it. So I was able to give them opportunity to practice. Sometimes the children may not really get the concept right. Knowing where we are coming from year 2, it was very easy for me to take them backwards first, to get them to understand the basic knowledge of what it's supposed to be before they get to the level that they are supposed to learn in year 3. So I did that a whole lot by looking backward moving backward in order to move forward, if I may put it that way. So I did that very, very well, and I intend to continue that practice because it's going to get the children to have an understanding of what they should be able to understand first before doing the next skill. I did that in virtually all the subjects I taught in year 3 here because I had a very good understanding of the skills they're supposed to have mastered or understand before the skills they are supposed to learn in year 3. Sometimes I noticed that some children have mastered some of the content for year 3. I try to extend it. Some children are a bit ahead because of the newsletter we usually send every Friday. They tend to, or maybe their parents tend to teach them first before allowing them to have the learning done in class. So what I did is trying to introduce a little bit of what it is that they're expected to have in year 4. But moving forward, I will do that a whole lot if I notice that a child has mastered some of the skills I am teaching. For the scope and sequence, it went so well in math, but this time I intend to, have a holistic view of what each skill I am teaching so that the children I can extend them so easily. All right, the next subject I'm going to talk about based on teaching still is English. When I came to year 3, I noticed that the practice here is slightly different from that of year 2. So I tend to put everything in an organized way. Just like, as an organizer, I try to put everything in an organized way in such a way that it flows. For example, on Monday, we do our spelling. On Tuesday, we do our comprehension. And then on Wednesday, we look at ELA, which is grammar. And then on Thursday, we look at the writing. Sometimes I split my writing tasks or lesson into two. We do the planning bit of writing on Thursday, then on Friday we begin to write. Or sometimes we do the planning and then do the introduction of whatever writing skill that I'm teaching at the time, and then on Friday we will complete it based on the time I have. So I intend to continue doing this because it really helps the children to really see the connection between grammar and writing, and sometimes the comprehension bit of the skills they learn in the week, they try to bring it in every other aspect of their English learning. Aside that, they also do that in math. So getting them to see how it flows, especially bringing in the element of spelling, grammar, comprehension into their writing. So this is one of the things I did so well, and I intend to do better, in fact, in it by doing a lot of research and finding out other ways, or even doing pair observation in order to find out how teachers who are strong in some areas do it, so that I'll be able to implement that in my class come next academic year. The second area I am reflecting on is planning. Here in year 3, I planned with my partner teachers just like in other year groups. I did it in year 1 and year 2. Here we also do it. It's a practice in school, but it was done differently here in year 3. So going forward, I intend to create like an annual overview from term 1 to term 3. I'm going to show you a bit of what I did last academic year and I shared with my partner teachers, but we didn't really use this document very well because I noticed that they still don't get it. So this time I'm going to do like an insert explaining what it is and how to use it, so that wherever they are, our planning will not just be until we converge. Sometimes we may not have the time to converge, but because we have a spreadsheet containing everything and we can see the progression in each skill that we are teaching, it will be very easy for every one of us in the team to be able to, follow through. Also making opportunity for each and every one of us in the team to bring the resources he or she have in his or her own custody that can help, teach some of the skills we have to teach. So this time around, I am going to improve more on planning. Aside that, I have a teacher planner in my TPT store or in my blog. Guys, this resource really helped me. I have a whole lot of information documented on it. I can easily just open it and see in my planner. So if you really want to get the paper version, I'm still a paper. I love papers. So I know that many teachers are interested in the digital version. Hopefully I will get that created, but for now I'm still using the paper version. So if you're interested, I will leave a link in the description of this video for you to just download it and use. Speaking of planning, I also have a substitute teacher binder in case if you need one. You can also get it from the description of this video. I'll be leaving a link to that. Another area I really want to reflect on is time management, guys. This is an area I am constantly trying to improve upon, using my time well generally, using my planning time for planning, using my marking time for marking, using my time properly. When the children are in the class and I'm teaching a particular skill, getting the children to be engaged, utilizing my time very well. So I will continue to develop growth mindset towards time management and I'll keep improving on it. Another area I really want to reflect on is my tech use. In this class, behind me is the IWB. Luckily, last academic year, we are given some tablets, knowing that the previous tablets given to us were not really durable enough. It doesn't have enough storage and some other issues with that tablet. So we are given another one, and honestly, I am so grateful to the management for requesting for these gadgets. Getting the children to do a whole lot of research. We did a lot of research, but giving them opportunity to do more. I am intending to give them more opportunity to do more research on their own. Sometimes I ask them to go home and do the research by themselves, which they did, and some of them came up with a lot of information and we shared, and I allowed them to do their presentation based on their research. by doing so, other children learn from each other. So come next academic year, I intend to do more of that with the use of gadgets I have in my possession, although we don't have one-to-one, but the one given to us, utilizing them, plan my lessons in such a way that it's going to give me the opportunity to pick gadgets from other classes and use in my class. So I'm going to do that more come next academic year. We are going to settle the numbers, okay, and this other one. So where is the word that says we should subtract? Reduce. Where is it? Reduce? Reduced. Okay, so now let's go. I'm going to wipe off this and then solve it. Speaking of tech tools, in my class last academic year, I was fortunate to have a document camera, which I'll be showing you here, and I used it to minimize movement from getting the children to understand what they ought to do. And this really helped me a whole lot. Movement was reduced, being able to capture the children's attention, sometimes modeling what I want them to do, scaffolding rather. It was so easy for me. So come next academic year, I will do more of that. Speaking of modeling, last academic year we did a lot of cutting and pasting, creating interactive notebook, and it was so well with English and math. So come next academic year, my intention is to continue with that and also give the children more opportunity to do the cutting and gluing by themselves, reducing the time for cutting and gluing by modeling it and using my document camera to do such. I also intend to get other gadgets that will help me deliver my lessons so that it will be very, very easy for both I and my children. My next point is on paper management. Here in my class, I have a way of managing my papers. Luckily, I was able to gather all the resources that I will be required to use next year, and it was really okay for me to do that because I already have a system that I use to manage my papers. This is not my original idea, I got it from online, but this is how it works. You plan your lessons based on units and then have a holistic view of what you are expected to teach in different subjects, and then plan your lessons by gathering all the resources that you need and sectioning those resources based on the days of the week. So arranging the papers based on the days you are teaching them, which you are going to pick out in preparation for the next lesson. So come next academic year, I'm actually going to do that more by organizing paper workflow so that I will not have papers here and there. Speaking of paper management, I was fortunate enough to, having gone through the curriculum for year 3, be able to gather the materials, paper materials that will be required next year. And I took some time before the school closes to print all the paper materials that we are going to be using in our next academic year. By so doing, reducing the time spent by the printer, waiting for the printer to come on or to get it on to print materials. So I have done that, and I am very, very thankful to my future self for having the opportunity to do that ahead of time, so that by next academic year, hopefully, God willing, I will not be going to the printer back and forth. Although there's a printer by my wing, but I want to reduce that time and use it for something more reasonable and more useful. Another area I'm reflecting on is creativity. Guys, yes, as a creative teacher, I love to create things out of nothing. So come next academic year, I will be giving the children more opportunities to record their learning in different ways, which we always talk about in IPC. Although we did a bit of it in our last academic year, mostly in IPC and English because they are linked. So I'll give them more opportunities to record their learning using different means. This time around, both in paper form, in digital form, and so many other ways they feel comfortable recording their learning. The 7th area I am actually going to be reflecting on is my health. Last year, I really took time to eat healthy, take a lot of water, especially when the children are not around, in order to regulate my system. Come next academic year, which I've already started, I will include more of working out and, taking more water as well, which I will not stop. So if you are that teacher that would like to scale some of the practices that you do in your classroom in order to have a successful academic year, be sure to watch this video next, where I explain how I do my planning, especially with IPC. So thank you so much for watching up to the end of this video, and I will see you in this video next. Bye.